Hello, I'm not naked, just in case. Today I have a special guest. I hope he can speak Spanish with us because actually my English is pretty bad, so I'm gonna apologize myself since now, okay? Um, we have Jose Shorty Torres, and he's gonna come soon. So if he's gonna connect right now, we are gonna have the pleasure to talk with him. Okay, so hello everybody. Today I have a really special guest. Hola a todos chicos. Hoy tengo a un invitado súper especial, a good friend of mine. I haven't seen him since 2 months probably, and this is the first time we're seeing each other after all this time. Hello, Jose. How are you? Please introduce yourself.
My name is Jose Shorty Torres. I'm a professional MMA fighter, UFC veteran. And right now, because of the time difference, I'm in the Kingdom of Bahrain. And it's like, at least from my home, Chicago, it's about a 9-hour time difference. So it's very, very different right now. But yeah, everything's good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. What's the time over there? What time
What
is
is
it?
what? Right now, it's about like 9:40, 9:45 p.m.
Oh my God. Here in Lima, it's like 1:38 p.m. So it's a lot of the different time, right?
Yeah, so right after this, I just finished practicing, so I'm gonna get ready for bed, shower up, and pass out and wake up early and do it all over again.
Since how long have you been training or in the fighting world?
So I started martial arts when I was 4 years old, and now I'm 28, so that's 24 years. I started MMA when I was 16, had my first amateur fight when I was 18, turned professional when I was 23, and I did it all year round, every single year, all the months since I was 4 years old. So while I did baseball, football, wrestling, and all these sports, I did MMA and martial arts all year round behind that. So I've been doing it for about 24 years now. So it's been all my life.
It's a lot of years. But you're right now 27, right?
I'm 28 now. Sadly, 28.
28? Oh, you're still a baby.
I kind of. I just it's funny because I'm 28 and I'm now in my prime. I'm good, in my career. But sometimes I see younger athletes come in and they, move really smooth and stretch really well. And I'm like, damn, I should have stretched more. I should have taken care of my body a little more, So I'm closer to 30. So now my body's starting to feel it a little bit, but that's what time, that's what age.
I feel you. I totally feel you. So when was your last fight?
My last fight was, I believe, September 26th of last year, and I've been trying to fight more. The only problem is COVID. I was supposed to fight in December, then January, then February, where COVID's like, everyone can come in except for Americans because there's a travel ban, or no one can come into this country or that country. So right now I'm lucky enough to travel here and fight, and hopefully fight as soon as possible after this.
So it's pretty funny because, yes, you said because of the COVID, nobody was like in fighting events or something like that. So I want to know, how did they invite you? I mean, they told you, okay, we have a fight, are you in? And you, yes, I am. Oh, how was it?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's I don't get paid until I fight. So it's like, I just want to fight. I just want to fight. And my whole day is pretty much training. So overall, it's kind of like you're working without getting paid. So for me, before my last fight, it was almost a year and a half, since I fought. And it's more of like, I just want to fight because, one, I need to get paid. Two, I want to fight because I'm just training for no reason. I'm getting beat up for no reason without, putting it out there. And for me, it's just, I want to have fun. This is my whole life. I'm away from family. I'm away from friends. I'm away from a social life. I just want to do my job, and I want to make it worth it. So it's been hard, but with COVID, like right now in Bahrain, I had to take a test, a COVID test 2 days before I fly. Then I get to Bahrain. Right when I land, I take a COVID test at the airport. have to quarantine 24 hours until my results. And then every 3 days, I have to take another COVID test to make sure that I'm still 100% clean and ready to fight.
Yeah, you have just said that for you it's like MMA is just a work, or there is a story behind. You know that mostly of the athletes have like something happened on their childhood or something like that. Is it happened to you?
So I have really two reasons why I started MMA. One, I always wanted to be a hero. I always, looked up to, TV shows like Power Rangers, Dragon Ball Z, Ninja Turtles, stuff like that. And those people fought for good. So for me, I always wanted to fight. And my father was, he was a gang leader, and my brother was 8 years older. So he always kind of beat me up because he's older. So for me, my father wasn't the best father in the world when I was a little kid. So he either beat us up because he was mad and angry and we were in the way, or he beat us up because it was play fighting. He would teach us how to fight. So automatically I had to learn how to defend myself. So my mom at 4 years old is like, let's go to the park district. Let's take you. There's karate there and we'll teach you karate and go from there. And I've been training all my life. So I started fighting really because of my father. And it's funny because I started training to beat my father up. And then little I know, the more I fought, the more I became a hero and inspiration to people in my neighborhood, because every time I fought, they're like, you're doing it. You can do it. If you could do it, I can do it. And it's like, this is awesome. And at the same time, I ended up making my relationship with my father that much better because he always wanted to be a fighter. He just never had the opportunity. So for him giving me the opportunity, it's like I lived his life and then I was able to accomplish my goals at the same time.
That's a really that's a good
It's
story
very different.
actually.
It's very different because my father was a gang leader. He was an enforcer, pretty much the guy who'd beat up people for money. So my dad was always, mad and angry, and he would take out his anger on us. So for me, I needed to learn how to defend myself, but at the same time, the only time I played with my father was when he wanted to play fight. So I only knew fighting growing up, and I've always been a very nice, positive person. I don't like fighting. I don't like beating people up, but it's just something I'm very, very good at.
Yeah. And this is another question. For example, people ask me a lot, why do I fight that? What is the feeling when I'm like in the middle of the ring? For example, for me, I feel like I'm like a dancer. It's like my show time. Everybody's looking at me, and I'm like, I'm the I'm the girl of the center of the
Mhm.
ring. You're gonna see me like doing what I really like to do, what I really love to do. What do you feel when you are in the middle of the ring?
For me, at least in practice is my time away from time. So when I spar, when I train, I don't think about anything else. This is the real little kid in me, because that's all I remember was training and play fighting was when I was a kid. So it's like the little kid in me having fun again. But when I fight, it's honestly the most anxious, scariest thing in the world, because you don't know what's going to happen. You could have the best training camp in the world and one punch ends it all. You could have the best training camp in the world and get caught by a submission, or you can have the worst training camp in the world and knock someone out. So it's a very, very scary time, especially when you're professional, because every fight moves you up. If you win, you move up. If you lose, you never know what happens next. So for me, it's literally fighting to survive. So everything's very, very important. So it is a lot of stress on me. But I do it for a reason. I do it to be a hero, to be an inspiration. I do it for my family. It's not the profession I wanted. It just so happened that, again, I ended up being very good at it, and I did it for a living. But it's one of the things that when I'm finally in there, it's like I go on autopilot. Like I don't control myself. I just kind of do whatever happens next, and I kind of just feel whatever's around me. I don't go with a mindset. I don't go, I kind of walk in there a little scared, anxious, nervous, because you don't know what's going to happen. But then once the cage door closes and the bell rings, I go blank. I kind of forget what happens, and then after the fight, I'm like, oh, it's over. Okay, wow, that wasn't as bad as what I thought. So it passes very, very fast. And for fighters like yourself, you kind of know. It's funny that anytime we're not fighting, we want to fight. Anytime we have a fight, we can't wait until it's over. And then once the fight is over, we can't wait to fight again. So it's a really, really weird thing. I'm 10 days, 12 days out until my fight. I can't wait until it's over. Like, I just want to go home, spend time with my family, and get it over and done with. But then once the fight is over, I'm gonna be like, I want to fight again. Put me back in there. And it's a very crazy thing, but I want to enjoy this as much as I can while I still can.
Yeah, that's really, really good. So for match athletes, the new is, you said that you want to be like an inspiration, of course, for them. What will be your, or I mean, what do you think? What is more important, or the talent or the discipline?
Oh man, I think the discipline's more important because I didn't grow up talented. Yeah, I grew up with a little more athletic ability sometimes than other kids, but I always grew up losing because I was the small kid. I was the shorty. I always grew up losing. So for me it wasn't that, I was better than other kids when I won. I was better than them because I had more heart. I had more discipline and I tried harder. Eventually I practiced so much that my technique overcame their natural talent. And a lot of people who have natural talent never practice because they're already very, very good. And they think no one's going to catch up to me. No one's going to get better than me. And then out of nowhere, the next day, someone passes them up, not because they're athletically or naturally more talented. They were just smarter. They started to learn, they started to adapt. And this game isn't about skill, especially MMA. It's not about skill. It's a chess match. It's who can do this while somebody's doing that, who can do that while somebody's doing this. It's very scientific and it's very strategic, and it's a very complicated sport. So I say discipline is a huge, huge thing in the sport. Talent is great and you might be right there, but if you don't have the discipline, you're not going to make it far in this career.
Yeah, that's true. Jose, do you have girlfriend?
No, I am
Okay.
desperately single. Yeah.
Let me say why I asked that, because
No,
I
I'm sad.
explained that because I want to know if for you, people around you, like, they kind of, I don't remember the word in English, but affectan,
Mhm,
like they affect in your preparation for a fight.
mhm.
In this case,
It's
a girlfriend.
you know, I used to be engaged. I used to have a fiance, and sometimes it does take a toll. Just relationships do take a toll in your life in general, and outside things do take a toll in your job and this and that. For me, being single is a good thing right now because I get to focus on me. I get to pay attention to me. The only hard part is I'm a very big extrovert. I need attention. So for me, not having someone there is very, very different for me. Um, but it's part of the sport. And I think me learning how to take care of myself now is going to help me better take care of someone in the future. I think for being Latino and not having a kid by now is very, very weird. Especially being Mexican in my neighborhood, everyone's, at like 16 has 3 kids, but it's a crazy thing. So for me, I'm trying to focus on myself. And if somebody someday happens to catch my eye and catch my heart, awesome. But if not, then I keep on pushing forward and keep doing my thing. I don't want to stress too much on that. And I want to enjoy my youth while I still can. And again, time will tell to see, who I guess is the next person.
So you just said like Latinos that we are. So ¿por qué no hablamos en español?
The only reason is my family never spoke Spanish in the house. So even though my neighborhood spoke Spanish, I never needed it at home. So anytime I went to school, everything was in English. Every time I went home, everything was in English. So I never needed to practice it. The only time I practiced it was at like a taqueria, panaderia, and all these different places. So I have the accent, I have the ability to speak, but I just never practiced it enough to do a full interview. And that's always been to me the most embarrassing thing. But it's also kind of the willpower, like you're saying, discipline, that I have all the ability to study, but I just get so lazy to study. I hate books. I hate reading. I hate all of that. And now at 28, trying to speak Spanish, sometimes I don't have the accent, and I feel very, very not. Yeah, I feel very ashamed and embarrassed sometimes. So I get, even though I could sometimes speak fluent Spanish in certain situations, I'm always afraid that I'm gonna sound like un gringo, the entire time. And I just don't want to do that, especially being a first generation Mexican Puerto Rican.
Yeah, it's like, trust me, I feel like, why am I speaking in English? I don't know. I maybe sound like a robot. I don't know, but have you
But
ever been in South America?
I've been to Brazil and Argentina, but that's about it. So I've been
Would you
to
like
those
to
two
come to
places.
Peru?
I would love to come to Peru. Actually, my very first martial arts teacher is from Lima, Peru. And I've always wanted to go, and I've always wanted to go there and just, see him because he lives there now. And I just like traveling the world and going to different places and enjoying the food for sure. And I have friends in Peru, so it's one of those things that it would just be fun to do.
Who is your who was your trainer from Peru? What's his name?
There's a guy who taught Shotokan karate by the name of Carlos Sanchez. And, he taught in the States for years, and now he lives in Lima, Peru. And I miss him to death, but he still checks my Facebook. Like you're saying, technology, still checks my Facebook, still messages me. I haven't seen him in 10 plus years, and it would be awesome to catch up with him one day.
I didn't know that. So, to see your fight, can we watch it online or something like that, or it's not possible?
Yeah. So everything is streamed. I know in the States it's on Fight TV, FITE.TV. It's like either an app or a streaming service. And I don't know how to watch it in like South America or different places, but I usually do make a post that says every region of the world where and how they can watch it. I know in the States you have to pay for it. Everywhere else around the world, it is 100% free. So most of the time it's going to be on BraveCF.TV, and it's a good time. They actually just had an event 2 days ago, and it was a really, really good event. Almost every fight was a knockout or a finish. They have another event on Thursday, then another event next week Thursday, and then another one, which is mine, the following Thursday. So I'm very, very excited to have some fun.
Would you promise a knockout?
I can't promise a knockout because the only reason I say that, and I have a high finish rate. The only reason I don't promise a knockout is because every time I go for a knockout, I don't get it. Or every time I go for a knockout, I end up getting way hurt, or way more hurt than I usually do. The reason why is because it's like a horse, the blinders. I do this and I only focus on one thing, and then I'm getting beat up because of it. I'm not paying attention to everything else. But then anytime I've not tried to get a knockout, I've had the most devastating, the most beautiful knockouts where I'm just like not even trying, land a nice punch, not hard, just nice clean punch, and out of nowhere they fold, and I'm like, hey, all right, this is awesome. So for me, I 100% want the knockout. I'm 100% going for the finish, but I'm going to play this nice, slow, comfortably, and like you said, a chess match.
Yeah, I know. You know that in South America, and especially in Peru, we have really good athletes, really good fighters. I'm pretty sure that some of them follow you. And the reason of my interview it was because I wanted them to see you as a young man fighting for a living. You know that it's not so easy to make a fighting career here in Peru, but it's like an inspiration for me, that see that someone can do it by living. So I would appreciate if you say some words to your Peruvian community that they're gonna see this video, and if you can say something in Spanish, it will be really, really nice.
Well, I don't know what I'm going to say in Spanish, but I do and can say that fighting is a poor man's sport. And in my neighborhood, I grew up in a trap house, which was, we made the drugs, we sold drugs there, we did a lot of crazy things. I was involved with gangs and violence and this and that. you know, I know Peru's definitely a lot more difficult, you know, depending on where you live, than my upbringing. But fighting is a poor man's sport. Fighting is the way out. And fighting was my way out. You know, if this shorty can do it, why can't you? I know, you know, in South America in general, it's hard to get popular and this and that, but you have to take sacrifices. You have to try your best, and you never know until you try. And if you don't try, you will always say woulda, shoulda, coulda, maybe this, maybe that. Go out there, try it. And if you try, you might not make the ultimate goal, you might not make it to the end, but you'll be a lot farther than where you originally started. And I think that's 100% what life is all about, is enjoying the journey while you still can.
Okay, so we are gonna wait for your next post to see if we can watch the fight.
Mhm.
I wish you the best, always, always, and I hope to meet you again in my next flight or to USA.
Yeah,
Probably you're coming.
you gotta come back to Florida. We'll have some fun and hang out with everyone again and beat each other up again. That'd be awesome. And I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. And to all the Peruvian fans, just thank you so much. And again, they can reach me at Jose Shorty Torres on Instagram and just message me. If I can reply back, I'm more than happy to reply back and hold a conversation.
Thank you so much, Jose.
Thank you so much as well.
Okay, yeah, it's finished. It's done. Don't worry, it's not recording anymore. I'm gonna